Okay, just tell me when it's recording.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay. So, welcome to Movie Cruise. This is John Sweet.
And I'm Marty Goltz.
On this episode, we still don't know why we're watching Tom Cruise movies.
And we ponder what we've done with our lives over the last 8 years.
Not much.
All right, well, so what are we doing here?
Hey, Marty. I'm John. Did you know? Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew who you were. I'm Marty, by the
Hey,
way.
I'm John, and this is Movie Cruise. This is our first episode, or episode 0,
This
right?
is episode 0, because we've actually already recorded several episodes.
Yeah, pretty recently, right?
No, that was about 8 years ago.
No, 8 years ago. Okay, so this is our podcast called Movie Cruise. And in this podcast, we review the oeuvre of Tom Cruise. I'm going to use that word a lot. A lot of
Yeah,
French in this.
I can't wait for you to do that.
We're going to watch his whole movie library, which spans like 5 decades, and talk about him. And why are we doing this, Marty?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I don't remember. So we came up with this idea 8 years ago, when we recorded the first. I guess we recorded what, 4 episodes back then.
Yep.
And I have no clue why we did Tom Cruise.
Did you just want to watch Top Gun with me? Is that
Well,
could it be?
yes, I think that's definitely part of it. But I seem to remember it was like we were having a conversation about, for some reason, I think we were talking about Tom Cruise, and we either both realized that neither of us had watched like any Tom Cruise movies at all and had no sense of like him as an actor or what he had done. And we were trying, I think, to come up with an idea for a podcast. Like we wanted to do a project, and we were kind of talking about this, and it just seemed like a good opportunity to watch some movies with a theme and learn about Tom Cruise.
I will say,
Um,
like, between 2011 and 2023, a lot of friends, I think, came together and said we should have a podcast. I think
yes,
that
I,
was
I
a
think you're right.
trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why we chose this. I will say, when I brought this up to people now, like my fiance, who I had not met when we started this, or friends, I am frequently, maybe every time, asked, why did you do that? Why Tom Cruise? Why this? So we don't know
Yeah.
really. Great.
We don't know, and I'm not sure that it matters, honestly.
Not
Like,
anymore.
I think we're gonna have fun. We've watched more Tom Cruise movies than I had watched previously,
Totally.
already, and I've enjoyed, I think, one of them of the, of the four that we watched.
Okay, so yeah, so we've recorded 4 episodes already, uh,
Mhm.
and we recently listened back to them. And I'll say I was surprised, no lost episodes, nothing that we need to just like drop and re-record.
Yeah, that's true. We had all of the recordings, we had the edited versions of a couple of them. There's some that we still need to edit, right, and put
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Um,
And
but
none
yeah,
were
it was all there.
too, but none were too like awful and terrible, considering that it's 8 years ago that we need to just drop them and pretend it never happened.
Yeah, I when I started listening to them, I was a little nervous, because I didn't remember what we did or any of the content.
Right.
Um, but I was, not to like toot our own horns, but
Horns.
yeah,
Separate horns. We each have a
separate
horn.
horns. Yeah, right. I was pretty surprised, and honestly, I enjoyed listening to our old episodes.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
so yeah, I'm excited to reboot this thing and start recording some more stuff, start watching some more Tom Cruise movies. So, do you want to recap the episodes that we recorded and we'll release? I guess we'll post the first one, right after we post this.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't know if we'll have a release schedule. We have to discuss that. But yeah, why don't we talk a little bit about what we already recorded? So, Episode one.
Do you want to tell us what the first one was? I know, but I'm just going to quiz you here.
Oh, it sounds like you don't know. You're
No,
quizzing
I
me.
do.
Huh?
I definitely know.
So episode one was the movie Losing It. I think it was released in 1983.
Mhm.
And how'd you feel about Losing It?
The movie or the episode that we recorded?
Yes.
Yeah, the movie. I, I don't remember it that much. I remember like some particular scenes because having listened back to the episode, it kind of jogged my memory on. In particular, I think the scene with the what's his name being hung by his by the crane, getting his crotch burned or whatever it was. That
Yeah.
one, that scene sticks out to me of all the scenes in the movies that
I
we've
re-
watched so far. But
I have to say, you were asking for his name. I remember that Tom Cruise's character's name in that movie had a phallic connotation. Like it was like Dick or something like that.
but that it wasn't Tom Cruise that was hanging by the crane,
Oh, it
right? That
wasn't?
was
Okay.
no, it was
This is Buddy.
yeah, it was one of the friends, and obviously when you listen to the episode, you'll get all the details of that. But
His name was Woody,
um,
by the way, Tom Cruise's character.
Woody, that's
Woody.
right. Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I guess it makes sense. The whole movie was about them trying to lose their virginity in Tijuana,
Yep.
and I didn't like the movie. It was pretty bad. I liked the episode that we recorded. I think we for the first go, it was pretty solid.
We had fun with it. Yeah. It was a typical, just like teenage boys will be boys romp. I guess typical for the 80s. That's not something you see anymore.
No,
Not like that.
not
You
at
know,
all.
and it brings up, you mentioned you didn't like it very much. I didn't either. That brings up something I wanted to mention is, we decided to do a podcast about Tom Cruise or following his movies. Um, and we've watched four movies so far, and two of them we really didn't like. But I will say, Tom Cruise is not the problem in any of those movies.
No, that's true.
You know,
Um, which
it,
ones didn't we like? I know we didn't like losing it.
and Legend also.
Legend. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
That
you
was
know,
that was pretty lousy.
like Tom Cruise, I was just thinking about how his first movies were in 1983 and 85,
Hmm.
and then he's still going strong now in 2025, so 40 years. So he has this staying power that is incredible. It's the kind of thing that you can only appreciate 40 years down the road, but it's truly a testament. And then his stamina and his charisma has not faded in that time. He's like the
Right.
Taylor Swift of action movies. You know what I mean? Like he's rehearsing on a treadmill and singing at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I guess he's like really fallen into the action movie. Well, honestly, I don't know anything about his the movies that he's done, but
Not
it
yet.
seems like he's like lately it's been mostly action movies, but when he started, they were not action movies, right? Top Gun, I think, is probably the first action movie that we'll encounter.
Mhm.
But there's lots in there that are like dramas and
Yeah.
non-action movies. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets into those. But we
Yeah.
do have a problem because he's making movies much faster than we're making podcast episodes, right?
That's really true. Yeah, that's
So
true.
we recognized this back 8 years ago that we would
Oh,
struggle to
no.
keep up with him, and now it's 8 years on. I'm sure I don't know what he's released in the last 8 years, but certainly we're well behind his pace.
Yeah, we really have to pick up the pace. We will
Yeah,
have job security, if you can consider this a job, for a long time.
sure. At least something to do.
Yeah, hobby security.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode one was Losing It. Episode two was Risky Business.
Risky Business. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was my
is it?
favorite.
Yeah, I agree. That was actually a pretty solid movie. And it's interesting that number two on his list um, is still such a popular
Yeah.
movie, right? Like that one is iconic for him. And it was the second one that he was in, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, really lucky break. And I'll say, like, Hey, we'll have to talk about the Joseph Campbell stuff we try to weave into episode three. But listening to episode two and our analysis of it, I was impressed by the writing. We analyzed some of the writing, and I was just recognizing all the symbolism and like a strong theme, and like, yeah, it just seemed like a really well constructed script and movie,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
it stuck
yeah,
around. Yeah, it's iconic.
yeah, for sure. And I think we found some good fun things to do with that one. I don't know if we start because we introduced a bunch of corners into the
Yeah.
podcast, right?
Well, we had movie phone. I think that was in episode one.
Did we start that in episode
I
one?
believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think that was a fun little bit. I don't know if we'll continue that. We'll have to see
I think
how
we
that
have to.
plays out. But
That's going to be a fan favorite. We're going to have to do that. So, and by the way, that is where we identify the cell phone that was in currency at the time the movie released.
right, yeah, the idea was to, I guess, relate sort of some piece of culture that people could understand to the
Yeah.
time that it came out. And I guess it was episode one, right, with losing it because it was the
First
first
cell
cell
phone.
phone also came out,
Hmm. You know,
which
that's
we both were surprised about.
yeah. The tough thing is going to be like the 2011 to 2025, which is just going to be like the iPhone 10, the iPhone 11, the iPhone 12.
That's true. There hasn't been a lot of real innovation in that space, but I think we have a lot of time between 83 and
Yeah, we
what
do.
was the first iPhone, like
2007, I think.
2007. So we've
We've
got
got
plenty of
20 years.
interesting mobile phone tidbits to pull out.
I can't wait.
So yeah, we did Risky Business. What that was the one that we liked. We
Yeah,
actually enjoyed
yeah.
that.
That was the best movie
Um,
so far.
yeah. What was after that?
All the Right Moves. So All the Right Moves is a story about a kid and his community living in a older industrial town in around Pittsburgh, and Tom Cruise is a teenager on the football team who is banking his whole life on getting a football scholarship and leaving that town, and then the struggles he faces trying to do that.
Yeah. I I remember that movie. I remember watching that one. Of the four that we watched, that was, I think, my second favorite. I actually sort of enjoyed All the Right Moves. Losing It was terrible. Legend was
Weird.
bizarre and sort of scary.
Bizarre. Yeah, sort of
Uh,
scary. You're an idiot.
yeah. Oh, wow. There were some moments in there that were, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, All the Right Moves I thought was decent. It's interesting because I had never heard of it. It doesn't,
Yeah,
like I don't think it shows up on any lists of movies.
not really.
Um,
Definitely not like best ofs for sure.
yeah, yeah,
And it had Tom Cruise, Craig T. Nelson, and then I forget her name, but she's the actress who played Michael J. Fox's mom in Back to the Future. So you had some fairly
right,
big names
yeah,
for the 80s, 90s in that movie, but it did not stick around. And it felt kind of, uh, it was a tough watch. It felt kind of dark and it's slow. I think we both agreed it was slow.
yeah, yeah. I remember the intro was like it was like some montage of like the town waking up,
Ugh.
but it went on for like probably twice as long as it should have gone on, and I was just like, oh my god, this is really boring.
Interminable. Do you think the director was
Yeah.
like, people are gonna love this?
I don't know what they were thinking.
Good point.
And then Legend, I didn't actually get to listening to that episode again.
Yeah,
So
right.
I know that in watching that movie, I did not enjoy it, and it kind of scared me. So
Oh, I thought you were kidding about being scared. I'm sorry to have insulted you. Yeah, I guess the fear that I faced was kind of like, what is my life coming to? What am I doing with my life? That kind of fright.
maybe I'm not remembering the same movie, but
I mean, it did have the devil, right?
yeah. Was there a scene with like a goblin and a mirror?
There was definitely, well, there was a shield that was reflective, and a witch looked into the mirror.
The wit, yeah,
Yeah,
that was that. Yeah, that
I
kind of freaked
remember
me
the
out.
witch being
It's like
scary.
you're like in a swamp, and yeah,
You
it
don't
was
know what's
kind of
gonna happen. Yeah, that's
no,
scary.
no. Um, but that one we had quite a delay between the time that we watched it and when
Yeah,
we recorded that one, right?
I think that I said in the recording that I watched Legend 3 times. You had seen it.
Hmm.
You had seen it twice, I think. We watched it. Then you had a baby 8 years
Yep,
ago, and
yep.
then you watched it. No, you didn't watch it again, did you? Because I was
I don't
refreshing
think
you.
so.
I was
Yeah, I
refreshing.
think I had watched it once, and then my son was born, and so we didn't record for about 6 months, and then I was trying to like piece my way through what I remembered about the movie,
That's right.
which I'll say I was impressed with my ability to remember as
I
much as
think
I
I
did.
was too. You did pretty good. And by the way, so Legend is a kind of mythical fable story by
Is
Ridley
it Ridley
Scott.
Scott?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
Ridley Scott joint. And it follows uh, the Darkness, played by Tim Curry, is like a devil figure who
Oh
has his
yeah.
minions kill the last unicorn to because they're the force of light. It's very convoluted. That's the best I can do. And Tom Cruise
Yeah.
plays like a wood nymph.
Right. Yeah. And there's he kind of like goes on an adventure, runs into a bunch of interesting like woodland characters, and there's dust everywhere. I,
There's
I don't
dust.
know.
Yeah. And you had suggested in the recording, maybe the dust is because they went out to shoot on set in a forest and they only had a couple days, so they had to use what they got. But then I pointed out, no, they shot it all in a studio on a film lot inside.
So they added the
The
dust.
dust
They
was
were
a
like, this
choice.
this needs to be dustier.
Yeah. So, unless there's more you want to say about Legend, uh, we can talk about like things that didn't hold up, things we didn't like about those old episodes now that we've heard most of them back.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about Legend. It
Good
was it
point.
was
We
bad
didn't
and we
like
didn't
it.
like it.
Yeah. Um, we had some corners and some segments in our podcast episodes that we really had a good time with. We mentioned Movie Phone already. Did you have other
Mhm.
ones that you enjoyed listening back to?
Well, we had the wine corner, which
Yeah.
I think was an interesting concept that we may or may not continue with. Probably,
I mean,
probably not.
I
Um,
that big break. I'm sober, so I'm not doing that unless it's like
okay,
alcohol free. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I don't think. I think neither of us knew anything about wine, so the bit was sort of like we were gonna go pick out some random stuff and slowly get drunk as we recorded the episode. But um,
yeah. So is it
yeah.
wine corner? Maybe not. Maybe we'll have some kind of a. We're having this kind of a fun drink or something. I don't know, but no more booze.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely need to keep the movie phone bit. I think we'll keep that one going. The other things that we did was the reviews and reviews of reviews, or something
Yeah,
like that. That
yeah.
where we found reviews of the movie and then reviewed those
It's
reviews.
pretty fun. We
Yeah,
also had
yeah,
like trivia about the production, which was kind of hit or miss, and we did
mm.
budget and box office returns, which I think is a nice thing to bring up.
Yeah. I think that would be good to kind of continue to track that. We can see how things have changed over time.
Yeah,
That'll be that'll be fun.
we could even chart it,
Yeah, if we
adjust it
get a
for
website and like
yeah,
an Instagram account.
absolutely. All of the
There's
corollary stuff for a podcast is the best part.
yeah, yeah, that will make for a sick graph, I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. In episode 3, so I was and still am to some extent interested in um, Joseph Campbell's theories of story structure and hero's journey. And if you're not familiar with this, it is a type of it's a domain in anthropology and literature where Joseph Campbell had this idea that there was a consistent set of character types and story arcs that persisted throughout time and across cultures. And it's a really interesting idea. I was very much obsessed with it in like 2017, 2018. And so episode three, I wanted to do a story arc mapping for every movie.
Oh,
Um,
we got into it.
yeah, we did. And you know, that's not something I'm planning on continuing. Like it's a fascinating thing, but to do that while we record or to do it as part of this podcast felt really pedantic. I feel like it could be its own podcast or blog, but I thought it detracted from our conversation. So I don't think that's going to be part of it anymore.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out which moments in the movie mapped to which particular elements of the story arc, and
Yeah.
we went back and forth. We on oh no, this is the crossing of the threshold, and then no, this is the
The belly of the whale.
But
I
yeah,
remember at one point I'm like, okay, so she's the goddess and he's the father figure, or is it the guardian? And I'm just like, who
yeah,
cares? Nobody needs to hear this. It's
none of
not
this
helpful.
matters.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
won't come
I
back.
think
So if
as
you
like
hear that in episode three and you don't like it, don't worry. If you do like it,
yeah,
message me. We can talk offline.
yeah, you do that in private.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess we've watched four Tom Cruise movies. We made it to 1980. Was it 84 or 85 that Legend came out?
Yeah, I remember. So Legend came out, it was released 1 month before Top Gun was released in 85.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that Top Gun is next.
Top Gun's next. And I have to point out, so you've been waiting for a long time and excited for a long time to watch Top Gun.
I have
Yeah.
8 years.
8 years.
I've been waiting for this.
In fact, in episode four, I quoted this, or I wrote it down. You said, Top Gun is the reason we're here right now. Now,
Really? Oh, well then, okay.
you may have meant like it's what put Tom Cruise on the map, like why he was still around in 2017 when we decided to do this. But I also took it as we had a conversation and like that's the reason we're talking about it. You know?
That could be. Have you seen Top Gun?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it probably two times
Okay.
before I was 20, maybe.
Okay.
It's
So
been
it's been
about
a little
15
while.
years. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Okay.
HBU.
I've seen it a handful of times.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know the number of times that I've seen it, but I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times. I have not actually seen all of the newest one, Top Gun Maverick. I
You were saying
watched
all of them. There's
like
two of them.
yeah, I watched. I've gotten through 3/4 of that one, but
Oh, okay.
I am excited. I am excited to see to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a while, and then to kind of put it up against the previous four, and I'm excited to get into it. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be fun.
I think there is a third Top Gun movie in planning right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll have more to see. Yeah, Tom Cruise has is not slowing down. They did just film what I believe was the final Mission Impossible movie, so that franchise is at an end. But
Haven't they said that like a couple of times though?
they have, yeah. But it does seem like this would be it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen like the how many Mission Impossible movies are there? Like six.
I don't know. I feel like this is something that we should either know or we'll find out soon.
Oh, we don't need to speculate right now at
Yeah.
this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. There by the time we get to them, there will be more of them.
Oh God, you're right. Well, neither here nor there. So our next episode is going to be Top Gun.
Just gonna be an awesome cruise. That's the other thing. We had a lot of cruise metaphors that we brought up, so we'll definitely continue that.
We should have hit this at the very beginning, but why did we call it Movie Cruise?
I mean, I know as well as why we started to even do Tom Cruise movies, but I think it came after we decided Tom Cruise, and obviously his
We're
last name
cruising
is
through his movies.
Cruise. We're gonna cruise through his movies, so it seemed appropriate.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to kick this off. It's great to see you and great to talk to you. And I think this is going to be fun. And I hope the people listening have some fun as well, if not just tuning in out of curiosity.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna drop the first episode that we recorded way back when. That one's edited. That's ready to go. So we'll drop that one shortly after this episode comes out, and then we'll start putting out the other three that we did after that, and then we'll get a new one with Top Gun following the episode 4. Hopefully, the production quality will increase when you get to episode 4 or 5. I guess it will be.
That's what you hope.
But yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think so too. Is there anything else we want to tell them, or should we let our audience go? Cut them loose.
No, I think we should cut them loose and get them into the episode 1.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it, Marty. We'll talk then.